What's going on? What's going on? Got a few people up in here. Good evening.
Y'all keep asking why my box went boom. I'ma break it down street style F true. Yo, you ran them bad coax jumpers, frayed and old center pink green like mode on gold. Too short, too long, that mismatch hit. Different VFs got your wave throwing fits. Your coax live velocity factor unknown. Signal racing dirty like it's dripping on chrome. You thought you was slick, but your math was whack. Air cry, blue smoke like a chimney stack. Why you let the air blew up, boom? Rust on the roof, got your mag now doom.
What's happening? We got a few folks in here. We got some YouTubers in here. We got Facebook people in here. Mike Smith wrote this song. This is a good one. I like it. Come on, Mike. Really?
Now here come the fools with a 2x4 box, 2x6 setups, no brains, just watch. Ain't running no Cobra, no single final shine. They driving the monsters with a striker 955 Ranger X9 with a drama stage lit. Overdriving that box till the transistors quit. Think it's cool till it glows like lava. Now they ghost keying like a broke down Mazda.
Like a broke down Mazda, the man said.
Running blind, no meters, that's all wrong. Too much swing, no room to ride. Overdriven box, got your one.
Oh boy, oh boy. Mike, I have to say you covered a lot in that one song, and that was pretty good, I might add. You nailed a lot. So this is a MooZilla black on black. Guy that wanted this one wanted all black stickers on it. There's actually decals on it. It's all camoed in more or less. But I ended up taking and going back to the stripe version just for this particular one. They wanted black on black because, as everyone knows, there's a potentiometer hole for here in this cabinet. So I had to block it off, and just since everything was on black, I just said I'm going back to a stripe. So that's why this one ended up like that. At the end of the day, normal business, this is a standard 2879C box that I build all the time. And here is the circuit. Really nice. Normal business in it. Remote jack, 5/16 stud, 3 6-gauge power cable. Feeding it, on-off switch. So this is a straight AM unit. Back end's all marked, slew cord keeper, all the great stuff. Yes, there's black wire in here, so that means don't hook this up to ground. This is your B+. Your ground on all my units are chassis ground. I think I had one guy, I sent him an amp out, and it was a 5-pill. And the guy that installed it thought that was the positive, I guess, and then this was the negative. So you know what happened to that amplifier? It blowed up. It died before it started. So with that said, getting started, turn this on. Fan kit runs without the lid being screwed down because I use a ground wire. There's a filter board up in there. And the way I have this one routed, I decided to go a different route. I'll set this up here. In the past, I had the filter board riding on this side. You see the 2 screws right here. A couple screws right here. They're normally over on this side. And the reason why I decided to take and put them over on this side and give it just probably about the same length of wire I normally put in these units. I always give it enough wire where you can pull the fan lid off, where you can inspect the unit. Because when I ship my stuff out to people, when they get it, I expect they should take the lid off and then inspect the amplifier, make sure there's nothing broken, nothing's out of whack, make sure the relay goes up and down, take your finger and poke it a few times. It's all good. One of the reasons why I'm routing this wire is how I'm routing it is because it has to go this way and it's away from an open frame relay. In the past, I've had wire get hung up and get caught in a relay, and there's like, my box is not working. Well, when they put the lid on, they were not paying attention on that wire. So, as I say, normally, I'll tell you guys, when you take the lid off, make sure you don't have no power feeding the unit, because if you slip, you're not going to blow something up. So you just simply take that wire, make sure she's coming out in towards the middle of the box, put the lid on, you're all done. You put the screws in it. So, let's move on and give this thing some watts. Oh, look, it won't come on. Why? Because I unplugged it. All right. Well, while I'm over here, I'll turn this thing on. Get it zeroed out. All right. All right, so we're going to take a look at our measuring slugs here. What we're going to use, the 25 watt input reflection, showing the communications going back to my trusty Texas Star 350. Then I'm going to use a 250 watt slug. It's going to show me my input drive power going into this unit. Now we're going to be hanging out right around 14.8, 14.7, somewhere in there on this portion of the test. I'll step it up a little bit and we'll move it up to around, not quite a whole volt, I guess. It'd be somewhere right around 15.6, 7, somewhere in there. So it'll be close. It won't be an entire volt increase, but you will see an increase in the RMS and the peak, and the peak, and the peaker tweakers get to see a little increase. Why is that going to increase from one voltage to the other? It's simple. You're opening the back door to what? Your voltage. So when you apply more voltage to the amplifier, that allows the amplifier to breathe a little bit more, and you will see a little bit more peak by not even increasing your drive. So when we run minimum on this, I'm going to show you guys a few things about low drive, and then we're going to work our way up to maximum drive on 14.8 volts, and then we're going to move it on up. We won't have any more power as far as drive goes, but we will have more volts, and it would be probably about 1 volt. Yeah, I could take and build a power supply and really crank this up, but I'm trying to be more realistic about this stuff, where you guys can run your equipment as it should have been ran as designed. Some guys will take and tie in a striker or a dual final radio, and they'll try to slip them in with a 2-pill or a 4-pill to drive something like this, and I'll tell you, 99% of the times it's probably not going to fare out for you very well. I've had many conversations this past week, or past week and this week as well, about these types of radios and why they don't want to seem to work very well with those particular radios. Now, there's other people out there running them. You're not going to get the best performance, but you might find yourself seeing other issues, and the other issues might be that radio may not match up with that driver or this amplifier or that combination. You may have to move around some coax, you may have to move around different drivers to take and run those types of radios. So it's not a plug and play. This isn't where you can just punch into your phone and go to the app store and you have an app and it works perfect every time. This is a manual analog device that you have to take and do your mathematical equations. You have to have the coax correct, you have to have your standing wave correct, you have to have the correct drive. And if you do all those things right, you're going to be very successful. But if you do a few of those things wrong, you'll still talk and you'll still have substandard performance, but your equipment shouldn't burn in half as soon as you key it and start talking skip or shoot out or whatever. You just have to take and find your happy medium. I'm not saying everybody needs to go out there and have this stuff absolutely perfect every time. It don't work out that way. No one has that much time. Even I don't have that much time. So, with that said, we're going to take and blow a few watts into here, and let's see where we're going to start off at. Now, you listen to the fans. It's not, you know, you guys can watch a video or you can listen to a video. Sometimes I tell people, watch my videos, and then after it's done, play it again and listen to it. I guarantee you there's going to be stuff that you're going to miss. Now I'm telling y'all just to listen to these fans when I key up with a low carrier. Alright, well that's a normal carrier I should say. See how they're not changing at all? Now let me lower my carrier a little bit. See how that's sped up a bit? You have to have so much of your carrier you use for a suppression or a dead key. Now I'll bring this up. Now this is a 250 watt slug. So we're looking at top scale. Each line is 5 watts. So the 5 would be 50. And the first big hash mark would be about 25 watts. Or it would be 25 watts. Not about, it is. Alright. So let's set it at 25 watts. Right. That's my input dead key. With everything on, I'm driving this unit with 25 watt carrier. Now if you take that 25 watts and you take someone pull out a calculator and start doing a little math, 25 and divide it by 8, that's how much each transistor is getting lit up with. Alright? About 25 watts. Input reflection. Alright? 25 watts, here's your audio swing. Audio swing, audio 1, 2, audio 1, 2. So I'm doing about 45 watts. Now, 45 watts with a 25 watt carrier, the 25 watt carrier will give you an overall carrier. This is a 2500 watt slug. Each line is 50 watts. That's a 500 watt carrier with a 25 watt. Let me double check that. Let me shut this off real quick. Let's see if I didn't make a noise or something. That is a 500 watt carrier. Alright? Now let's say audio. Audio, 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 audio. Boy, it's not swinging very much, is it? But I'm doing about 600 watts with about 45 watts of drive. Audio, 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 audio. Your striker is going to make it do that. Audio, 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 audio. Your striker will also show your peak. This is a 5,000 watt digital peak. Will show you this. Oh, hey, look at that. I'm doing 1700 watts peak. Tweak, tweak, peak. But my RMS, let's just focus on this meter. The RMS, audio, 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 audio. It's just kind of standing there. Those radios, I kind of accidentally mocked up what those radios do. They will take and do a little better than that. I'll give it that. They'll do a little bit better. But what happens is you have to control a couple different things. If you don't get the mixture just right, you're just going to sit there. Turn the mic gain back. Did I? Yeah, I did, Billy. I turned it back up. You have to get that mixture just right for those things are going to sing right. So, going back to what I was just doing, I'm on low drive. I'm at 14 whatever volts. Audio, 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 14.8, and I'm drawing about 94 amps. Now, you're like, that 8-pill really is not getting up and going, because I'm only putting like 50 watts of drive in there, and I had a 25 watt carrier. And then, so if I drop the carrier back, say 10 watts now, that gives me an overall carrier, 2500 slug, of about 100 and 110 watts. So that's pretty cool, right? Put 10 watts in, I get 110 carrier. That's tracking times 10. Audio, 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 audio. At the end, I'm still doing the same 600 watts. At the end, I'm still doing the same drive of about 45 audio, 45, 50 watts, 45 watts. As I increase my input envelope to about double where I was just at, you have to decrease your mic gain, or not your mic gain, your carrier control a little bit before you can control what just happened, because if I would have left that there, I would have mauled the amplifier. In fact, let's do that real quick. Turn where was I? About there. And I was at 25 watt carrier. Okay? Now if I turn that up, 25 watt carrier is still there. No. It's not. Why? Because that radio took it. Turn that one up. 25 watt carrier is no longer there. You just really whacked the box. Watch. Ran it right up there. So this is pretty important. Don't forget to do this. Back that down to where you have a nice carrier level. Where do you set the carrier level? Well, if I went back to my 10 watts, right here, I should still have the 100 or so over here. Close. Audio, 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 audio. Now we got a little swing. Now we're looking at our RMS, and now we're at about 850 or 900 watts with 250 watt slug. Audio, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. About 80, 85 RMS going into it. And then it gives me my RMS out. And there you go. There's your RMS. And here's your peaker, tweaker, tweaker, peaker. Guess what? That number's still really close to where we left off when I was only hitting it with about 45 watts of drive. So, Mike Smith says, leave the peaker tweakers alone, man. I've been saying for years, guys, don't get caught up on that peeking tweaking stuff. Alright, moving forward. Now we actually have a little bit of drive. Now we can take and have some fun with this amplifier. So let me set a nice little carrier in here. Bring her up. I like to keep it right about 500, 600 watts. See where we're at. Here's your carrier level. You're about 35 watts there. And we're going to look at the RMS. Audio, 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 audio. 850, 900 watts. We didn't increase anything else, but the carrier level where I set it, they're about, where am I at? 40 watts. Gives me an overall carrier. Oh my Lord. About 500. Audio, 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 audio. Now here's a 5,000 watt audio, 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 audio. A good 900 over here. Let's see the analog peaker tweaker. Analog, 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 peaker tweaker, 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 RMS. Tweaker, 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 tweaker. There you go. 1850, 1900 peak. At about 850, 900 RMS. Nothing wrong with that. So what do we have left? We have a little bit more drive that we can put into this. So if I take and go to the high side of the Texas Star, I'm still hanging out. Let's see where our amps were over here. This is the low side of the Texas Star. Audio, 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 audio. About 110, 112 amps. Let's say it was with both the Texas Star and the 8-pill on this. And here's your voltage, audio, 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 14.8. Don't mind the 122 that Texas Star has added up to it. And here you go, audio, 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 109. So that said 122 up there, but 109 is actually what's happening here at 14.8 volts. So if you wanted to take and go and run some numbers, you can. So moving forward, let's take a look at the high side. Now again, this increased, so you got to decrease here. Find your happy spot. Like I said, I like that 500-600 watt carrier. Have guys say, "Oh, you never announce your carrier levels." A lot of times, I'm just constantly cranking it up. There's about 550, 600. So with that said, that's no mic gain on there. 550, 600 gave me. I'm back at that 25, 30 watt mark. A little modulation on it. Take a look at the amperage, the actual amperage. Then make it a little bigger. There we go. Glare is terrible. Audio, 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 audio. Now she's eating a little bit. 130. Let's see my input drive level. 250 watt slug. Each line is 5 watts. Audio, audio drive level. Audio, audio. So I'm hanging out right at 120 to 125 input reflection. Each line's 5 watts. Audio, audio, half watt, I'm sorry, a half watt, a little over a half watt. And here's your peaking, tweaking watts. Peaking and a tweaking and a tweaking and a peaking. There's 2,000 watts. Let's look at the analog. Peaking, tweaking, peaking, tweaking, analog, audio, 1, 2, 5,000 watt slug, and it's showing me 1900 there. And let's take a look at these two, since they're both 5,000 watt slugs. Audio, RMS, audio, audio, audio. 1250. 1150 to 1250, somewhere in there. Audio. About 1150. Two different systems, but they're in the same neighborhood. Now, can we make more power? Yeah, sure. Make a little bit more. And this is for the peaker tweakers, so they can understand. If you take and increase your voltage envelope, meaning your B plus, then your peak will increase as well. At least it should if the amplifier is built correctly. Let's see if I can get this there. Way to do it. And we're going to plug this one in. And now we are on the bigger power supply. Turn this on. And we should be ready to go. Alright, now we're going to be on the bigger power supply. The amp meter is going to be here. We can kind of counter cross check them. The voltage is over here. And we're going to take a look at that first. Audio. 15.5. We're going with 15.5. Let's take a look at the amperage. Audio. 147. She's cooking pretty good. Audio. Pretty cool. 145. Now, look at my input drive. On the high side of my Texas Star. Look at my input drive. 250 watt slug. Each line's half watt. Yeah, it's a C-box mic. Audio, input drive, audio. That'll give me about 130 watts RMS of drive, usable wattage. And here's your input reflection. Each line's a half watt. Audio, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It absolutely stayed the same. Now, we'll go back to RMS right here and the digital. Audio. Well, we're really getting it now. 1400 RMS. Let's take a look at the RMS on the 5 up here. Audio. 1250. Alright, let's peeking and tweaking. Here we go, peeker tweaker. Did we increase audio? We sure did. Wow, look at that. Audio 1, 2, 3, 4, 2200 and a little above, somewhere in there. So we'll just call it 2200 watts. Peak and the tweak. And the tweak and the peak. So hopefully this video will straighten up a little. You guys are taking and asking some of these questions about these super radios. I have guys out there, my guys too, they do have those types of radios. When we initially talked about what you're going to have, because you know if you call me, I'm going to ask you. If you even get me on the phone, which you will, I'm going to ask, so prepare yourselves. I'm going to ask my questions as well. Hey, what kind of coax do you use? What kind of antenna do you use? Ultimately, what kind of radio do you run? That's the big one. That's the big question right there. You're like, well, I got a Stryker, I got a Jackson, I got a Connex, I got a dual final radio. I'm like, okay, do you own a Uniden? Do you own a Snake? Do you got a Cobra 2000, 142? Anything with one vinyl? Yeah, I got this, I got that. Cool. Try it. Do not put all your eggs in one basket when you're trying to build a station saying, I have this radio. No, you better have that radio, and you can try yourself because something could be wrong with your radio to make your system think it's funny, especially if you're building your system. And one particular person I talked to and I spent a lot of time with last night is going through that right now. He's like, well, you know, I really wanted to take and key up and make sure it all kind of worked. Yeah, but you told on yourself when you told me this happened and this happened and this happened. That means you didn't check these certain things. And especially, you don't check your input reflect and you don't know how your system's going to load up. You do not know what piece of coax to put in there. Yes, I suggest phase angle from the radio, half a wavelength to your driver, or half a wavelength to your amplifier if you have such and such radio with dual finals, and we already agreed that should work into this because of X amount of wattage is going to give you X amount of RMS, and you're going to see a gazillion watts in peak because that's how they work. That's how they sell them. Peaker tweaker watts. They sell them all the time. You're not going to see the performance, but phase angle half a wavelength always from your radio to this amplifier, or that radio to that amplifier. Now from this amplifier, if it were being driven into this amplifier, it would commonly be a half a wavelength. Sometimes you might have to put a quarter wavelength in there. But again, it depends how your system loads into the antenna system, and if you have your coax cut right, the antenna's tuned right, because any imbalances is going to show what? Reflection. Lots of it. You can tune an analyzer and your system will say it's perfect. I have my channel spread I'm looking for, 8 to 10 channels. I got a 1.00 here, I got a 1.1 over here. I should be good. And then you take and plug your radio in that you don't know if it's jacked up or not, and you start doing this with carriers and such. If your system's correct, when you move that carrier knob with everything on, everything should be stable. And I'm going to try to show you that. And you don't need mic gain for this test. Shut it off. All your equipment's on, right? Okay. Now we're going to put no carrier into this, and nothing will happen. Let me make this camera larger. All right? Nothing's happening. No carrier. Nothing is happening. I'm hearing that relay click. I got no watts. Hey, you want to see something cool? It's showing me 2,000 watts peak just by clicking that microphone. Digital does it too. So, kind of cool. So, moving forward. So, if you're a bigger tweaker, man, you don't even need to talk in the microphone. You're doing full output. Hey, Molly, I just told a funny. Do you hear that one? All right, so, what was I doing? Oh, smooth operation. So, I have no carrier. This one's moving. That's my input reflection. My drive, that's wide open. Now I'm going to roll this up, but we're not going to care about the drive. Let's look at the input. What happens? It's nice and smooth, ain't it? Look where I'm at up here. I'm going to have a 14, 13, 13, 12, 1300 watt carrier. That wasn't all glitchy and flinchy now, was it? Now, if I really wanted to prove a point, I would take and put the wrong piece of coax in there and watch that thing buried in the corner. But guess what? This is a brand new amplifier, and I'm not trying to destroy it for the guy. You guys do a good enough job at that yourselves sometimes. But, that said, look at the power level meter. Zero carrier. There you go. Nice and smooth. Watch, I'll do it again. I'll unkey it. No glitchies, no itchies, no nothing. Everything's nice and smooth, just like it's supposed to be. Now I'm going to set my carrier. About 500 or so. I'm still keyed. Get a little modulation. Audio, 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 audio. 2250 watts. I like that. Molly, you like it? What you got going on? What are you doing, Molly? Hold on a second. Let me get a tune, Molly. Let me get a tune. Should be playing. Come here, Molly. What are you doing, baby? Ah, there she is. Oh no, got my camera all messed up. There it is. Hi, how are you? You gonna say hi to everybody, Molly? Molly, you gonna wave? Okay. You gonna wave? Hi, how are you? This is your box. It's a MooZilla. And it's black. It's not white. It's silver. What do you think? You like it? Huh? Is it good? Roo-roo? Talk to your dog? Roo-roo-roo? Hi, baby. You gonna give me a shake? Come on, give me a shake. Come on, give it up. There you go. You're a good girl, aren't you? Yeah, you're my Molly Moo, right? Yeah. What's happening? You gonna say hi to everybody? Molly, say hello. Say hi. Hi. Nothing. You got nothing for me today? You're not feeling good. Your nose is dry. I already buttered it up. Got nothing? Not feeling good? Not into it? Nope. Okay. Did I forget anything, guys? Amperage, maybe? We can look at amperage one more time. There's the amperage at the unit. Audio, 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 audio. 142. Audio, 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 audio. 142. 47. Here's your volts. 0 reflect audio, 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 audio. You can mark that down at 15.5. Here's your peaker, tweaker, 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 tweaker. Light gain was not anywhere near wide open nor 12 o'clock. Hey, let's check this out. What happens if I crank it wide open? Am I going to make more power? Let's see. Wide open. Let's see the power. More power! Nope, didn't help. Let's see if it helps me in RMS. More power! Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh. We'll back it down a little bit. Put it about the normal 12. More power! Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh. Not really. Pure distortion. You start cranking that stuff too far. Well, that's how that works. Hopefully some of this information I gave to you guys today will help you out. Amplifier looks beautiful. Yeah, you're right, Mike. She does want to lay down. She did just that. Laid right down over there. Here you go, boys and girls. A little late pill. So I just got to tighten a few things down and put some screws in it, and off she goes. There you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. I'm going to leave you with the last little bit of this song. Alright guys, thanks for watching. God bless. Had a wonderful weekend coming up. I'm 10-7.